Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question to the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsockеtradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
It's Coffee Ann on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us on Tuesday morning, April the 29th. This is Joe Callahan at the Coffee Ann table. Let's say good morning to Linda Tebow. Hi, Linda.
Good morning.
Good morning to you. And Ed Carew from the Carew Investment Group is here. Good morning, Ed.
Hello there.
Hello there. And it's time for first message from the Carew Investment Group. So what's new over there, Ed? Anything important?
Everything is important. What do you mean?
There, right.
Is
That's
anything
right.
important?
Yeah, nothing. That's right.
Okay, thanks, Joe. Good morning, everyone. Ed Carew here with the Carew Investment Group at 2190 Menden Road in Cumberland. Our telephone number is 765-8880. And the Carew Investment Group, we focus on personalized investment management of client money using quality stocks and bonds and mutual funds. Our goal is to select quality investments that we expect to go up over time, but not every day, of course. And if you'd like to speak with us about it, you can give us a call at 765-8880. And we'll get you into the office within a day or two and see what we can do to help you. Give us a call, 765-8880, for an appointment with Better Money Management. Securities are offered through Bolton Global Capital, member FINRA and SIPC, and advisory services offered through Bolton Global Asset Management, a registered investment advisor.
All right, Ed, thanks. So I'm reading through Ed's emails that he sends out once a week about things that are going on in the market, and things are still fluctuating.
Fluctuating,
right, Ed? They're
Yes.
up and down, and people are asking Ed, is it time to panic, Ed? And it's like, no, it's not time to panic. So that's good. That's smart. But I want to ask you a question. It's something that you put in your email, and it just said something that United Airlines did,
Yes.
coming out with their, I don't know if it was their projections, but they came out with two guidance forecasts.
Yeah.
One that says, well, if there's a recession, this is what we're going to do. And if there's no recession, then this is what we're going to do. And is that something businesses normally do? Put out two?
No, they
Okay.
don't normally put out two. They normally don't say anything.
Okay.
They'll say something
So this is
like,
unusual.
we're unable to give guidance because of uncertainties or, words to that effect.
Okay.
So they came out. But they said two different things on two different days. It wasn't like, we're going to put out, if this happens, we're going to do this. If this happens, we're going to do this.
Okay.
They said, we can see that there could be a recession,
Right.
right? And, so there's going to be less traveling and this and that. And then a couple of days later, they came out and said, there's a good chance we won't have a recession.
So there'll be more traveling.
Traveling will be good.
Okay.
So it's like earnings are coming out, companies are reporting, but usually they also have a press conference or a conference call after, and they'll tell you what they're expecting for the next quarter and for the rest of the year.
Okay.
And right now, most of the companies are coming out and saying we don't really have vision to see what's going to happen in the future because of tariffs and because of this and that, and so we're pulling our guidance for the year, or we're not going to project how we're going to do next quarter because of all of the uncertainties, or things like that. I'd much rather hear that than to hear the
False
company that
stuff.
comes out and says, oh, everything is great, and then next quarter come out and they miss the numbers by 8
lot,
miles,
yeah.
So I'd rather hear that. Of course, the other thing I don't want to hear is that business is going to be awful in the next 3 months. I don't want to hear that. But at least that
Okay.
guy's honest.
Well,
I'm a little bit suspicious about companies that would come out and say everything's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depending
How
on the
can they say that?
industry.
Yeah.
Depending on the industry. I mean, if it's a discount store of some type, a chain that sells,
Like a Dollar General?
okay,
All right.
you said it. Somebody like that, and
All
I'm
right.
not necessarily that
Them,
one,
okay.
because that may or may not be a well-run discount store, but there are
Maybe
some
not. Okay.
well-run discount stores. They may pick up business as people trade down.
Okay.
Instead of spending money at wherever they're spending it now,
Yeah.
they say, well, let's go try this place.
Try to save money.
Yeah, try to save money, especially on clothing and stuff.
Yeah. Well, all right then. Now, does the voting in Canada that took place yesterday, the new prime minister, is that going to help fluctuate the stock market? Just not knowing what he's going to do up in Canada, and will that affect anything?
I doubt it.
Okay, just they don't pay attention. He hasn't come out and said anything other than Canada's going to stay Canada and not become the 51st state or something like that.
Yeah,
So.
I doubt that what the new Prime Minister. I doubt that has any effect on the stock market.
Okay. I just thought it was terribly interesting what United Airlines did. They said they came out with their two forecasts. We're not sure which one it's going to be, but here's both. So
Yeah, I mean,
just
that
in case.
uncertainty is affecting everything.
Yeah,
You know, people are even if they're not panicking, they're concerned,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, just this morning, General Motors came out with earnings, and the earnings were pretty good.
Mm-hmm, okay.
But usually they have a conference call within a few hours. Well, today is Tuesday, and they said we're going to have a conference call on Thursday afternoon because
What's
the
gonna
president is going to Detroit today,
Oh, he's having his big
and
rally.
he's going to speak about
His 100 days.
the tariffs.
Okay.
Yeah, something about not piling on individual tariffs on top of the other tariff. Anyway, they're expecting it to be good for them,
For
so
them.
they don't want to come out and make
A statement. Of some kind.
right, make a statement about the next quarter and the rest of the year
Until after he
when
says.
Trump can go there tonight and throw the whole thing out of
Right.
off kilter.
Oh,
So
smart
yeah,
for them.
that was smart.
Yeah.
Well, and I think these days too with Trump, you get, wait a minute, you know.
Yeah, you wait. It's like the weather.
Yeah, you know, it's like the weather, depending on
The way the wind blows.
what time of day it is, you know. Well, you know, I mean, this big tariff, but except on this, you know,
yeah.
and you know, I think there's. I think if people knew one way or another how things were going to go, that you know the world would be a better place.
Oh, absolutely.
But this uncertainty, I think, is causing a lot of angina, and people don't know.
Right. People don't know should they go buy a car
Or not.
Should they buy a house? Should
Right,
they do this?
should-
they, you
exactly.
just don't know what to do.
Or do you hurry up and go buy the lumber that you need because it might go up?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
Canada, you know.
Canada's supplying the lumber.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So you know that's what I mean. Wait a minute, you know.
Yeah, and one of the reasons that the stock market has dropped is not because people have been selling, it's because nobody's buying.
Nobody's buying, right?
Okay.
So when there's no buyer, well, the
Yeah.
price comes down until it finds a buyer.
Right.
Yeah.
And when there's a lot of buyers, the price goes up until they don't want to buy anymore.
Right, exactly. And I think that's a lot. I think a lot of people are not buying or because they don't know which
Yeah,
way to go.
exactly.
Yeah.
You don't know if you're gonna have a job,
Yeah. But even
especially
at
if
those,
you work for the government.
right,
That's right.
exactly. But even at those discount stores, you know, if all these tariffs, I mean, I'm sure they're not buying made in USA. You know,
No,
they're
but-
stocking their stores with, you know, unless they have a real big stock of whatever.
Well, without going into any names, there are some discount stores that buy closeouts from U.S. companies.
Yes.
Oh, should I name 'em?
Yes. Yeah, we know those stores, right? We know those stores.
So those people
So
are
those
selling
people-
good quality
good
stuff
quality
that they're
stuff,
getting from other
Right.
U.S. retailers who are either downsizing or going out of business
Right,
completely
right,
because their
right.
prices are too high or
Right,
whatever.
Right.
And these guys are picking it up at a good price and
Yeah.
they're selling it at a good price.
Right.
Yeah, and
We
you
all know what those stores are.
Yeah.
But we won't say.
Yeah, I won't bark a word.
Well, we have one of those in Woonsocket.
Yes, we do.
As a matter of
Actually,
fact.
we have a couple.
All right.
Yeah.
Moving away from the stock market, Ed will keep an eye on that, as he always does
Well, he
throughout the week
does,
for
yeah.
us. So thanks for that, Ed. All right. And so one of the big stories we have for you this morning is a big fire in North Smithfield. Linda,
Yes,
fire crews, they're still on the scene.
Yes.
Massive fire. It has destroyed the Sales Hill Rod and Gun Club in
Yeah.
North Smithfield. And the fire broke out about 1 this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Now, no word yet on how it started, but it just makes you go,
Yeah, the fire marshals are going to be on scene soon to investigate.
Yeah.
You know. I mean,
No.
it was leveled. Did you
yeah,
see the
it's
picture? It was
destroyed.
leveled.
It's done. Because,
was
when
leveled.
fire crews got there, fully engulfed.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and there it goes. And it's a century-old building.
It
right?
is.
So,
yes,
and,
it is.
Probably made out of wood, right?
Oh yes,
Yeah, so-
beautiful
so
though.
there you go.
know, it's
Yeah.
a beautiful sight. It's sad to see
Yeah.
that go.
Now, according to North Smithfield Fire Chief David Chartier, they did face water supply shortages.
Yes.
Is there not a lake nearby or a pond of some
No,
sort?
not right near them. No. And as we were talking earlier, it's off the road.
Well, right, it's
You know,
down in a way.
it's not like, oh, there it is. Like
Yeah.
a store or something. You have to drive into the area a bit. So yeah.
All right. So, and they were concerned because there were propane tanks attached to gas grills.
Yes,
outside the
yes,
building,
yeah.
but that's not an issue anymore. So nothing blew up. So that's good. The building has been there for about 100 years. Let's see. It is a total loss. The good news is no one was inside at the time. No firefighters were hurt. Firefighters are expected to be at the scene for several more hours. The cause remains under investigation.
Right.
So.
Right.
And you can see, if you want to see film of the fire, you can go check out Channel 12's website, Channel 10's website. They both have video of that massive fire. Do you think will they rebuild? Do you think?
Well, the thing is, it's members that, it's with the membership. That's how
What
they
they
make it,
wanna
and they
do.
rent out the hall too.
Yeah.
But the thing is, one thing about, and Ed, you had an old house, and as I do, and building something back to what they had would cost a whole lot more today
Yeah.
than it did when they were building it. So
But they must have insurance.
They must have insurance, and I'm sure they do. Yeah, I would bet that they do. But and I know most well, I don't know. I guess I shouldn't say most insurances. Like with my house, there's a rebuild amount on it.
Yes,
And
yes.
it's shocking how
Yes.
because it's shocking how much, because they don't build like that anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
The fancy
Our
woodwork and
other
the
house,
brackets.
our old house. It
Yeah,
was
same
like,
thing, right?
You
Yeah, I know.
like if I could sell it for this.
Yeah, well, I said the same thing when I saw it. Oh, but no, you can't. But
Do businesses normally get that kind of insurance?
well, I think I don't know. Do the insurance?
I don't know what they do. The Rod and Gun Club that I belong to, Civic in Rochester,
Yeah.
it's insured by NRA. You have to be a member of the NRA to belong to the club.
Oh,
so
okay.
I'm sure the club gets their insurance through the
Through
NRA.
them. Yeah. I don't know. Dave doesn't belong to that one. We've been there many times. It's the setting is it's a beautiful setting, as most of them are.
Yeah.
As most of them are, because they're out of the way and in the woods and lovely background and everything.
All right. Well, that was the big story out of this morning, coming out of North
definitely,
Smithfield, that the fire started very early this morning, and the building is a complete loss. So
It is.
that's a shame. So we'll be hearing more about this, investigation into what happened and how it started, and like that. So, all right, moving on to something else, and we will when we come back. But it's time for a second message. Ed from the Carew Investment Group.
Okay, thanks again, Joe. Good morning again, everyone. Are you retired or retiring soon? That's great. Congratulations. You may be retiring, but your money can't afford to retire. I'm Ed Carew of the Carew Investment Group at 2190 Mendon Road, Suite 3 in Cumberland, Rhode Island. At the Carew Investment Group, we offer personal investment management of client money, especially for the proceeds of their 401k distribution after they leave the workforce. So to find out more about our services and for professional management of your investments, you can call me or Paul at 765-8880. Securities are offered through Bolton Global Capital, member FINRA and SIPC. Advisory services offered through Bolton Global Asset Management, a registered investment advisor.
Thanks, Ed. And the Coffee and program continues. If you want to make a comment or a question, 766-1240 is our phone number.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-230-2777. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-230-2777. That's 800-230-2777 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-230-2777. 800-230-2777.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee Roasters. All their coffee is roasted right here in Rhode Island. Down East Coffee Roasters is available at all Little General stores.
ON, AM, and FM.
It's Coffee In on ON. Thanks for joining us. I'm Joe Callahan here with Ed Crew and Linda Tebow. And the next story I'm going to bring up is it's out of Massachusetts, Ed. And just the things that bug me is when people try to take advantage of people that are having a bad time. And so I don't know if you heard the story, Linda, but last week was school vacation week in Massachusetts.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
4 students from Concord Carlisle High School went to Florida for spring break. They were in a car accident. 3 of them died.
Oh, my God.
Seniors at the high school. One, last I knew, still in intensive care. Have you heard an update on the 4th one, Ed?
No.
Okay. They went to it was somewhere in the panhandle of Florida, and they crashed into a tractor-trailer truck, if I remember correctly. And so, 2 died at the scene, another one died at the hospital, and one is still in intensive care. But after that, now, someone went out and started a fraudulent GoFundMe page, which just drives you crazy. Now, the Concord police, they're investigating this. Now, the page said that they were raising money for the funeral costs of just one of these 3 Concord Carlisle High School students that were killed in the crash. School superintendent said the page did not belong to the victim's family. Boston.com reported a GoFundMe spokesperson said all the money that has been collected already has been refunded back to the donors. So that part's good. It's the part that people, let me try to take advantage
of the bad
and make some
situation.
money of a bad situation and these people's misfortune, and we'll make some cash off of it.
It's terrible.
I'm like,
Does that surprise you?
it shouldn't.
No.
But in this case, it does, because it's you're going after kids who have died and going after their families. That's a little surprising.
Yeah, but those
But-
scumbags could care less.
I
No,
guess
yeah,
I
it's
guess
an
I
opportunity
guess so.
to take advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. You're right, Ed. And I hate being. Well, I do enjoy being a cynic, but I hate being. I hate seeing this happen. I'm very happy it was caught, and that they reported it to the right authorities.
Right.
I don't know who.
Exactly. Yeah.
It was probably a student, if you think about it. If the word goes around and hey, there's a GoFundMe page set up for so and so that passed away, and someone said they don't know, and talk to the family about it, and they say, well, I don't know anything about it, and we're not getting any money from this, and we didn't set this up, and because I don't know if have you ever contributed to a GoFundMe page?
Yes.
So have I, and
Yeah.
I've always made pretty darn sure
Yeah.
where
that it
my money was
Yeah,
going
I
to.
knew who it was
Who
that
it
was
was.
doing it and who it was for.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
okay, and because you could go to GoFundMe.com and you can see everything from around the country of people
Yeah.
looking to raise money,
Yeah.
and you got to be careful of where you're sending your cash, but this one probably looked legit, and
Well, because it was publicized so much that
Yeah.
these kids died. Yeah.
and they probably had a picture of the person that died.
Sure. Well,
And
yeah.
I'm sure it said the money's going to like it said, to the funeral expenses
Yeah.
of this child.
Yeah.
But, so okay, but just glad it was caught, and the money was refunded, because boy, would you be angry if you gave to that fund
Oh.
and realized it wasn't going to the family? It's like, oh wow, okay. Back here in Rhode Island, this is one of those okay, nice idea. Is it absolutely necessary? I guess in this world maybe it is, but State Rep John Brian from here in Woonsocket
Yeah.
introduced legislation. They want to establish the framework for veterinary telemedicine in Rhode Island. So you can get on the phone with your vet and say, what's your pug's name?
Nellie.
Nellie. Dr. Smith. Nellie's sneezing. Here, take a listen. And so instead of you making an appointment and going in and dragging the dog out, they want to be able to have this law that says you can call your vet and be diagnosed, I guess, over the phone. Maybe even do FaceTime.
I don't
And
even
you can
like,
even see it.
I don't even like telehealth too much for people.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not, it's not the same, and I get it, sometimes it might be a useful tool, but
Well-
I'm not a big fan of that. Sorry, John.
All right. John, we get the press release, and John Brian goes out and says, telemedicine has been a tremendous success story in healthcare. Would you agree with that? Maybe not. All right. And then he goes on to say there's no reason we can't extend the success to animal care. It's time to modernize Rhode Island's veterinary laws to enable the state licensed veterinarians to use proven, convenient, safe telehealth technology for pet patients. In addition, an ongoing veterinary workforce shortage is making care harder to get. I didn't realize that. I mean, with shortage of doctors.
Oh, there's
kinda
even more of
kinda
a
makes
shortage
sense.
of vets.
Shortage of vets
Yeah,
is the
yeah,
problem either.
yeah.
And many Rhode Island pet owners do not have adequate access to veterinary care. So, and then our own Melissa Murray put the same kind of legislation in on the Senate side.
Really?
So,
Yeah.
and I was talking with Dave off the air about it. And I said, but is it necessary that we have to have a law for something like this? And his answer was yes, because we don't have a law against it. So the vets won't do it because
They don't want to get sued.
they don't want to get in trouble. So if there's a law for it, then
Yeah.
okay.
It's
Ed, did you ever call your vet in Massachusetts? The horse, the Amigo, wasn't,
Our vet came to the house.
they come
Oh,
to the
well, they
house.
made house calls.
They
Well,
do
wow.
bond calls, right?
Yeah,
There
well,
you
you're
go.
gonna for a horse, you
Yeah.
usually do, unless it's something. I mean, you can bring him to some vet places.
Yeah.
You can take him to Tufts Veterinary Hospital, which Jane did with one horse, but
Okay.
that's before I knew her.
Yeah.
But no, our vet used to come. But I can see where that can be helpful, because it's difficult to get an appointment with a vet. You call a veterinarian and say my dog is sick or whatever, and they're booked. They're booked
Yeah.
solid. You might not be able to see them until
Next
they
week
either get a
or-
cancellation or until a week goes by or however amount of time. So I can see where it can be helpful. Not everybody that has a pet, dog, cat, whatever, has a vet that
Okay.
they see on a regular basis. Some people do, some people don't,
Okay. John Brian is just quoted saying many pet owners will tell you one of the most difficult and unpleasant experiences is going to the vet. It can be a half-day commitment, and taking time off work can be challenging for many. The only current option for accessing vet care on evenings and weekends is an expensive and stressful trip to the emergency animal hospital.
And but they have traveling vets too, mobile vets now.
How much does that cost?
I don't know, but because I have a vet, and I've always had a vet. All my dogs go
Yeah,
to the same
we've
person.
always had a vet too.
And my animals have yearly visits. Health checks,
Yeah.
well checks.
Well, I can see this bill probably passing.
It'll
And
probably pass. And the thing is I think it's tricky enough sometimes with the telehealth with humans.
yeah.
Can you imagine, with a dog
Well, I
that's
was-
covered with fur and and
We would,
it's the
we,
human that's
we-
describing the
Well, we were kidding around, Dave and I, just
yeah.
earlier this morning when the story came up, and said, you call your doctor and say, okay, put Spot on the phone.
Right, exactly.
Okay, Spot, explain
Yeah.
what the problem is.
Yeah. No, but I mean, so you're interpreting what you're seeing, the symptoms,
Well,
but
yeah.
but they can't hands-on and listen to their heart or listen to their lungs or things
Well,
like
no.
that.
Yeah, but if it's something simple, they can probably diagnose it just by your description or whatever.
Sure. I
If it's
guess.
something
Yeah, I
where
guess,
they think
yeah.
they should see the
Yes, come
patient,
in.
Yeah.
Right.
come in
Yeah.
to can you come in tomorrow or whatever.
Yeah.
Or maybe they can say, okay, it looks like it's whatever this is, and I'm going to make a prescription. And so give them this pill for the next 30 days, and then let me know. And
Yeah.
if everything's fine, okay, good. So, But like I said, we can always use FaceTime for the doctor to be able to see what's going on. Like, he's walking weird. It looks like he's limping or favoring a leg. Here, take a look, and watch the dog walk across the floor if you can get the dog to walk across the floor, or the cat. So, not having a pet at the moment, I'm like, well, if pet owners want to have this, and if they're going to make use of it, okay.
I guess I'm just lucky. I call the vet and bring him in.
I guess. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean,
You
we did too, because we had, with horses and dogs and
Dogs,
cats, it was
yeah.
almost every month there was somebody who needed something.
Needed something, yeah.
All right. So other stories that are going on. The Rhode Island Department of Children, Youth and Families, they've disclosed the fatality of an infant and the near fatality of a 10-year-old boy. These always come out much later.
After the fact.
Well later after the fact. And according to Monday's announcement, the child and family of the 3-month-old were open to the department at the time of the fatality, and the incident happened on Friday. Okay, that was close by. Officials say the near fatality of a 10-year-old happened July 31st, 2024. And they're just now getting around to saying, well, this almost happened. I don't know why that happens, but that's usually the way it is with DCYF. No additional details have been provided due to confidentiality laws.
Yeah.
So there's just kind of I don't know if the need to know law kind of thing. All right, because we're a state agency. Okay, we'll let you know this has happened, but we can't provide you any details. So here you go, and now you know, but we can't tell you anything else. I don't know. I don't know how it works over there at DCYF. It just seems it takes a while. Although the death and they never tell you the circumstances. I mean, how does the infant pass away? And what happened with the 10-year-old? Were they riding their bicycle? Were they in a car accident, not wearing a seatbelt? Or people always have more questions, and you just don't get any more answers. So, all right. So moving along, Providence College has got a new provost.
Oh, really?
Exciting. Yep. They did a national search. Actually, any idea, Linda, what does the provost do at a college?
Well, I think aren't they the president of the college?
No, there's a president and a provost.
And a provost, and I don't know what the provost is.
I don't
he like
either.
the dean? Yeah, I'm not sure.
Well, he's also the senior vice president of academic affairs.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what that title means.
I don't either. But Providence College, you got to do a national. You got to do a national search, and they had 90 candidates.
Wow.
So it's a thing. It's a thing
Wow.
to become. I just don't know what they do. It's a man by the name of Dr. Thomas Smith. He's the new provost and the vice president of academic affairs. He comes to Providence from Catholic University of America. Will officially join the college on July 1st.
It's a very respected college.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Before his time at CUA, Dr. Smith spent 20 years at Villanova University. Doesn't say what he did at Villanova. Maybe he taught. I'm not sure. Smith says he is honored to become the next provost of Providence College. I don't know what happened to the old one. Maybe retired.
Yeah.
I don't remember. And like I said, I'm not sure what
I don't know.
what they actually do. Ed, any idea what a provost does?
Nope.
To look that one up.
All right. So, all right. Let's see. Anything else you want to bring up before ramp closures down there in 95? Are you enjoying the flyby bridge, by the way? On 146,
I haven't.
north and
Did you?
south?
I was going to ask you that. Did you use it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Ed, have
No,
you
I
had,
haven't.
Ed, have you had a chance to use the southbound side?
No,
I-
sir.
Wow.
No, I haven't gone that
Okay.
direction. No.
And it's great because, and I don't know why this is, because you don't really see it on the northbound side. People are still staying to the right, and maybe they want to take a right on Iron
Yeah.
Mine Hill, or
Yeah,
they want
right,
to take a left
yeah.
on Sales Hill Road,
Sales Hill,
or they
yeah.
want to go to Anchor Subaru, or they want to
Yeah.
get gas at the
Yeah.
Sunoco that's right there. But there seems to be always a backup on people on the right-hand side going up to the light.
Okay.
If you stay to the left, you get right on the flyby bridge and go right over, and you're all set. Now, the problem here is if you don't know this ahead of time and you're coming up at nighttime, and especially if you're coming down from Massachusetts and you want to go to the Rustic Drive-In, and you go, oh, I'll just bypass the light.
Yeah.
Well, if you bypass the light, you bypass the entrance to the Rustic Drive-In.
Oh, that's right.
It's
yeah.
all Jersey
Yeah.
barriers
Yeah.
on 146.
Yeah.
So by the time the two merge, you have missed the entrance
Yeah.
to the drive-in.
Yeah.
Which means you got to go all the way down and turn around, come all the way back up. But there's no signage for that anywhere on
The signage-
146. Drive-in
Yeah.
traffic, stay to the right.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I had a situation last Friday. I had a safe driver course. If you take it, you get a discount on your car insurance.
All right.
And I had AAA come, and I had like a little over 20 people there, and I'm not seeing the person, and I'm not. Then all of a sudden she was coming from Providence, so she came down, and so she do the give me the directions to
Yeah.
get there kind of a thing, and she said all of a sudden she saw a sign for Boston, so because she was. She said, "This is wrong. This is not right," and she had to turn around. And I said, "Yeah,
Well, when you get a chance,
So-
if you're gonna go on 146, just remember, just stay to the left
Stay to the.
at all times.
See, I haven't had the need. I've got to go to the cable thing because we still do that TV show.
Okay.
So if I'm going that way,
You'd have to
We
stay
have
to
to
the
go.
left, go all the way down to 295, turn
and
around.
then turn around. Yeah,
Come north.
because we turn around on Boston, Massachusetts, north. We have to get on 295
Yeah.
north and swing around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the flyover bridge is nice. And
Yeah,
it's
good.
it's
good.
working. It's
I
working
was
out
I meant
great.
to ask you that right away because I wondered. You said you were gonna.
Of course,
Good. It
I
makes
have.
your travel easier then.
I've only seen a couple of cars do this that say, "Oh, I'm in the right-hand lane. Oh, you got to get over."
Well, of
At,
course,
at the
yeah.
at the last second,
Last
because there's
second.
the split.
Yeah.
And either we do it right now, or I'm stuck in this right-hand lane, or I'm going to crash into the Jersey barrier.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
But
yeah.
they make it over. No,
Yeah,
okay, fine. All right, we're going to take a break here on the Coffee and program. More coming your way. Time for the weather forecast being brought to you by Positive Coaching Alliance.
Sunny skies today with a high of 76 and a breeze from the southwest up to 33 miles per hour. National Weather Service has posted a special weather statement for forest fire danger. Tonight, increasingly cloudy, overnight low of 56, southwest wind. Wednesday's weather, mostly cloudy skies. Winds decrease to 25 miles per hour, gradually becoming sunny with a high of 69. Thursday, mostly sunny, 69 and calm wind. Friday, mostly cloudy skies, 75. Friday night, chance of showers. Saturday, a good chance of showers. Mostly cloudy skies all day, high of 70 degrees. Saturday night, showers taper off, overnight low of 49. Sunday, partly sunny skies and 64, and next Monday, mostly sunny with a high of 64 degrees.
Outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio on the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street, we have sunny skies, and the temperature is at 65. Questions about youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit organization, develops better athletes and better people through youth and high school sports. Information available at positivecoach.org.
Our family caring for your family. The Holiday Retirement Home is a skilled nursing and rehabilitation facility with a home-like atmosphere where laughter is the best medicine. The Holiday keeps their patients and residents involved in varied activities and events so they have the opportunity to live life to the fullest. The Holiday Retirement Home has their own in-house physical, occupational, and speech therapy staff with more than 300 years of combined experience. Stop in for a tour. The Holiday is right off Route 99 on Sales Hill Road in Manville, and for more information you can visit their website at holidayretirement.com.
WIC is a supplemental nutrition program that plays a crucial role in improving the health and well-being of women and children by providing access to healthy foods and essential services. Learn more at health.ri.gov/WIC. Sponsored by Rhode Island Broadcasters Association.
Hello, this is Kevin Callahan. Join me and Pat Holland in the Cheap Seats with Pat and Kevin. Sports Talk every Saturday morning at 9 here on ON, AM, and FM.
Thanks, Kevin. That's the Cheap Seats here on ON Radio every Saturday morning at 9. From 9 until 10. All right. I don't know if we're waiting for Ed to come back into the studio. This is Joe Callan here with Lyndon Tebow and Ed Crew because we told Ed, we promised him, he begged us, and we finally relented. Said, all right,
okay.
Ed, fine. Ed's going to call out a radio square.
Oh, okay.
Must you. So pick anyone you like that really, that, maybe you have a friend. I don't know.
I have no friends.
So
I'm
just
like
call out.
Smudge.
Yeah, that's right. They're not part of the square. So
I
pull
gotta
out any
find somebody
business.
that- it doesn't matter which one of
Doesn't
these?
matter. Doesn't matter which one.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe some of them had been pulled already.
Oh, some have been called, but everybody's got a different card at their home, so maybe
Oh, that's right.
they
too.
haven't
Yeah.
heard them been
That's
called
true.
yet. So
Yeah.
okay. So what do you think, Ed?
Oh, are we live right now?
Yes,
Yeah,
we
we
are.
are.
Yes, we are. Please don't swear.
Okay. Thanks for the warning. Okay, hey, how about Michael's Meats?
Michael's Meats it is. All right, very good. Now, if that makes 5 in a row for you on your game card number 4, you give us a call now at 762-1240. And we want to register you because we're having the big trivia contest is this Saturday, May 3rd. And last person standing in the trivia contest will win their choice, either $300 in cold hard cash or $500 in Rhode Island lottery tickets.
Cool.
So the possibilities of winning $1 million
Yeah, right.
is there, or $2. It's your
So
choice.
you're doing that on Kentucky Derby Day.
Yes, we are. How about that? And Dave's talked to a number of people that have signed up to be part of this,
Really?
and he's asked them, "Hey, if you're the winner, what are you going to take?" And guess what they're taking, Ed?
Dave
I
would take the
do not
500
know.
ticket.
They're going with the lottery tickets.
Yeah.
The
Really?
majority of people,
Yeah.
they like their odds.
How many tickets?
$500 worth.
$500 worth
Yeah.
of tickets.
So
That could be a
I-
lot of scratching.
Yeah, I go. Well, I think Dave's going to mix it up. Okay, a couple of 2s, couple of 5s, couple of 10s, couple of 20s, and don't make them all 2s. You'd be scratching till summertime, till the 4th of July. So, but people like that idea of
Wow.
winning more. If you win $302, you've beaten us. So,
302?
well, you got your choice. You want $300 in cash,
Oh, okay.
or $500
Oh,
in
okay.
lottery
Okay.
tickets. And if you win $302 in the lottery tickets, you've won. Basically,
Oh,
you made a
true.
better decision
You
than
made
taking
a
the
better-
$300
Okay, I
in
get
cash.
it now.
So,
I get ya.
all right.
Okay.
So what Ed called out Michael's Meats.
I did.
All right,
Michael's
right there.
Meats,
They're right
yes.
near you.
I
As,
know they
as
are.
a matter of
and
fact,
they have good stuff.
They do have really good stuff and really good prices too. All right, let's see other things going on. I heard this yesterday and I went, what? How does this happen? The Navy, the United States Navy, has lost a $60 million jet. It fell off an aircraft carrier into the ocean and sunk. I'm like, how did it fall off the boat? Isn't that why we have people on the boat to secure these things? After the pilot lands, the pilot gets out. There's all those people you see them on TV shows and commercials all the time with the things in their hands and stop and hold it, and we got nets up and things like that. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. So it fell overboard. In a statement, the Navy said the FA-18E Super Hornet fighter was under tow in the hangar bay of the USS Harry S. Truman when the aircraft rolled off the carrier and sank into the water. All crew members are accounted for. Well, that's good.
Well, that's good.
Accounted for, with one sailor suffering a minor injury. Trying to hold it back.
Yeah.
No, stop. An investigation is underway of how this was possible.
It's,
You look confused.
yeah,
Linda.
no, that's confusing. I mean, but
Of how it can be
if the
done.
crew was on board and it was being towed, then they were going to be going to the place where they were going to take off, probably,
Or were they done?
or
And they
or
were
had they
parking it.
landed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Interesting.
It says it was going. It was under tow, so it had lit. So it was there, and they were towing it to the hangar bay. Sounds like they were pulling
Oh,
it
so
in.
they were coming in, and they were going to
Sounds
go
like
put
it.
it in the.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were coming
Never
in.
been on an aircraft carrier to know what
How it's done.
exactly
Yeah.
that is.
Yeah.
Just being facetious, they forgot to put it in park.
And they put the parking
They
brake
put
on.
it. They put it. They forgot the parking brake. They put it in neutral. Now it can just roll on its own. So I don't know, but it doesn't. It just sounds funny
Yeah,
that
because-
a jet has rolled off the ship.
Right. Because when they land, they thing catches them.
It catches.
Yeah.
There's a
It
hook.
catches
The hook
them.
thing,
That
yeah.
hook
The
thing
hook catches it,
them.
and then they got a net to stop it from falling off the other end.
Mm.
So, but that's only up for a little while. I
Yeah.
guess the net comes down and
Wow.
fell off to the side.
Well, I'm glad the
I don't
crew's
know.
okay.
Glad the crew's okay, but can you imagine being the captain of the ship, who's now got to report this to the Navy? We've lost a jet. how embarrassing! It's embarrassing.
Well,
no.
yeah.
And now the
they
Navy's
didn't
got
really lose it. They know
Well, we
where
know where it is.
Yeah.
They didn't really lose.
I wonder if they'll try to retrieve it.
It doesn't say in our news. Little
I guess it would depend where you
How
how deep the water
Yeah,
is.
right, exactly.
I don't think it's you just it fell off. Okay, forget about it.
Well, they're saying
you
they're already saying lost at sea. So it sounds like we're not going to go get it.
Well, maybe they're out in the middle of the ocean and it's 15,000 feet deep. I don't know.
Yeah.
But if it's not that deep, you don't want a foreign country to go retrieve
that
it.
was exactly.
I
That was
know,
my
right?
thinking.
Let's face it, the F-18 is
Yeah.
not exactly a out of commission jet. That's a new
That's a new one.
new enough.
Yeah, that was my
And-
thinking too.
And you're right. And at $60 million a pop, you'd think you'd want to get it back if you possibly could.
Yikes.
Wonder what Trump thinks about all
Oh,
this.
tax dollars.
That's how tax dollars at work. That's right. I wonder if Trump been on the
Wow.
phone with the who's ever in charge of the Navy right now. You will get it.
Who, Elon Musk?
Is he in charge of the Navy now?
Admiral Musk?
Admiral Musk. Someone's in charge of the Navy. So, all right. Well, that's
Wow.
imagine getting that phone call. We've lost a jet.
You're not going to believe this.
Yep. This is something that doesn't happen every day. So, all right. All right. Martha Stewart
Yeah.
is letting fans in on a secret.
Really?
Yes. Despite appearing in an Uber Eats commercial during this year's Super Bowl, Stewart shared on Monday on an episode of The Kelly Clarkson Show that she has never ordered food delivered. Stewart said it's simple. She'll either go out or she won't eat. She called her choice pure.
I thought you know how to cook.
I thought she knew. Why didn't she cook for herself? Yeah.
That's amazing.
Pure's in quotes, by the
she's-
way.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
okay.
So she never ordered delivery, huh?
No.
No.
I haven't.
No, me neither.
Have you?
No.
Have you?
No.
No.
It's really for the younger crowd,
Yeah.
I think.
I think.
They've just grown up with it. My daughter will order food delivered to my house all the time.
Really?
Mostly like Chipotle. She
Yeah.
likes.
Yeah.
She may have ordered Domino's one time
Really?
as well.
Yeah.
And at Chipotle, who's ever doing it, it's either Uber Eats or it's DoorDash. They just come up and leave it on the porch and walk away. They don't even ring the bell. Wish they would, but
Yeah.
I said, what about tipping the driver? Oh, it's all part of
It's
the.
all part of the
it's
app.
all part
I
of the
would
app.
think.
It is. I said,
Yeah.
oh, I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. So yeah, they're all set.
Yeah, some people always I have a neighbor that orders at Lots, and one time somebody came to my door and said, "You ordered
is
this,"
it?
and I said, "Yeah, no, I didn't."
Well, what is it?
But no, but then he says, "But you did." I said,
No, I didn't.
"No, I didn't." But look on my phone. This is your house, because he didn't have the address. He just
Okay.
had, what
A picture?
picture, and I said, "Yeah,"
Yeah.
but I didn't order
Yeah.
it. I said, "Check next
Next
door."
door.
Yeah, and that person orders it a lot. Yeah.
I get that too. I've where people have come up and they just said, and they weren't sure. They just said is and then they gave the number of the house.
Yeah.
Is this blah 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 number? And they said no, next door though. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
It's usually Chinese food, and I don't like Chinese food, so I don't say, oh, what's that?
Well,
So-
at Oak Point, once a week on Thursdays, Thursday evening meal, there's a local restaurant that delivers. You put in your order a day or two early, and they will cook whatever you want to order and deliver it. And a lot of
Oh, yeah?
people take advantage of that. Yeah.
Wow, all right. Speaking of like an Uber Eats driver and like this, there was a story, and I think it was in Taunton, where the Uber driver was assaulted by the passenger.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I said, I don't understand this. The whole point of Uber drivers is they carry no money. That's the beauty of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Of course, it was a male passenger.
He wanted more than money.
And it was
Yeah.
and a female driver.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, when you do an Uber, you put in, okay, here I am, and this is where I want to go. And then the Uber driver or the Lyft driver says, okay, I'll come get you. And when the guy gets in the car, here's the red flag right off the bat. Changes where I want to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Woman decides, well, okay, it's still in the same town. It still goes. And then they get to the driveway. It's a home. And now it's a long driveway in, like the Rod and Gun Club.
Yeah.
And she doesn't want to drive all the way in, but eventually she does. That's where the assault takes place back there. But she was able to get into her car and get out of there. And I don't think too much happened. But I'm like, I guess lesson learned if you're the Uber driver right away. If they change where they're going, that's a red flag right there. So, just you got to be careful these days.
Well, yeah, especially because I think, well, I guess any of those Uber drivers, but especially like a female,
And I worry about that too when I'm in an Uber. And I usually only take Ubers when I'm out of state and I'm far away in another state. And if I get a female driver, I'm like, oh boy, got to be in your best behavior.
Yeah.
I sit in the back seat.
Yeah.
To make sure, and on the passenger side, so far away, and I always try to make nice with the driver, nice, pleasant, unoffensive conversation,
vanilla
at all times. Hey, how's this? How about this weather?
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just to make sure nothing can be construed anything bad, because you never know. Now it's her word against mine.
And exactly, and what you say, these days, what you say is really important.
All right, we'll take a break here in the Coffee and program, but more is coming your way. We ask you to please stick around.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED, because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, HIMS can help. Through HIMS.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at HIMS.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but HIMS can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to HIMS.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Hey, it's Cruisin' Bruce from ON Radio. And what are people saying about my Saturday block party every weekend? Well, let's ask.
Hey, Bruce, big fans, Bobby and Jane. We try to call as much as possible from Cumberland.
I think you're wonderful. I love you. You're awesome.
God bless you. I really enjoy the show.
Hey, Bruce, this is Wendy. Thank you for all your great music.
You have a wonderful evening, and again, enjoying the show.
Hey, thank you very much. Make it a point to join me every Saturday from 4 to 7 p.m. on the one and only ON Radio.
Really make our weekends. I love it.
You're a legend.
Well, let's not go overboard.
You can depend on us for public service. ON Radio.
All right, it is Coffee In on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with Ed Carew and Linda Tebow. And just in case, speaking of food, the whole Uber Eats
You're
thing.
making me hungry.
Today, I'm going to make you more hungry. Today is National Shrimp Scampi Day.
Oh.
Like shrimp scampi?
Yes, I do.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's see. The dish is easily whipped up with shrimp, fresh or frozen, butter, garlic, white wine, lemon juice, and noodles. If you're unfamiliar with the shrimp in the kitchen, the best cooks out there say a good rule of thumb is to watch for change in color and texture. You don't want bad shrimp.
No.
You'd be sick for a while there. Yeah. Once the thickest part of the shrimp changes from translucent to opaque and pink, start eating. Yeah. So there you go.
And did you know that tomorrow is National Raisin Day?
No.
Oh, I heard it through the grapevine.
Ah.
But it really is National Raisin Day.
Thanks, Ed.
Oh, Ed.
All right. These I like these stories as well. This one takes it. It's a little bit more of a twist. One of those when a long overdue library book is returned. All right, and this one took place in New Jersey, but the librarian is teaching it into a teachable moment. So the book is Jumanji, and it was returned to the Stillman Elementary School library in Tenafly. I think that's how you say that. Tenafly, New Jersey, this month. It was checked out in 1982. Inside the book, they enclosed a $40 money order for the overdue fee.
Wow.
And but no other explanation. No letter. No. I'm sorry. Nothing like that. Just here's $40, and we'll call it even. So the school librarian has turned it over to the students, and now they've turned it into an investigative project. Okay, they've learned about the school librarian at the time it was checked out, and they discovered the book had been mailed from Drums, Pennsylvania. So whoever had it made it all the way to, I'm not sure how far that is from Tenafly, New Jersey. Those two states border each other, so could just be a couple of hours. And the kids have created a website, but they're really hoping the original student who checked it out will read about their exploits and contact them to see what have you done with the book all these years. So, wow. So there you go. Well, I hope they run across the person that checked it out all those years ago. And I was always mad if I had to return a library book and it was like 3 days overdue, and I owed 15 cents.
Yeah.
5 cents a day.
I wonder what the overdue fees are these days, or do
it's
they
not much
even?
higher than
No?
that. I think they still have it.
Really?
I'll have to ask Leslie Page.
Yeah.
She comes in on Mondays.
Yeah.
And what is the overdue fee? And is there a limit? Do we cap it at what, $10? So, all right. If you're looking to buy an engagement ring, if you're the folks that live in the state of Washington, they spend the most amount. They shell out the most expensive engagement rings are in Washington State. New study says the study found that on average, Washington residents spend just over $10,000 on an engagement ring. Wow. California comes in second, followed by Illinois, Kansas, and New Jersey in the top 5.
Wow.
I don't know why Washington is so high.
10,000.
That's exactly why. They're all high.
Well, maybe that's it. And I remember, and I don't remember what diamond company it was.
De Beers.
De Beers, no, it wasn't them. But they actually pointed out they wanted you to buy their engagement rings, and they said, if you're going to spend 2 months' salary on an engagement ring, you should buy it from us. I said, oh, good rule of thumb. That's how much you should make it in that ballpark. So when I was getting married, I'm thinking about, well, how much was I making at the time? And okay, that's what I should spend on an engagement ring. I thought that was a good rule of thumb. It was not in the $10,000 category, by the way. But all right. So just be careful about that. So Ed, make it a point of this, okay? Mark this on your calendar. Kamala Harris is expected to criticize Donald Trump's presidency in a speech she's giving in San Francisco tomorrow. This is must-see TV. No? All right. The unsuccessful 2024 White House hopeful will be speaking at Emerge, an organization that works to put Democratic women in office. A person familiar with the event says Harris will take aim at Trump's economic policies and his influence on American institutions. Well, if you want, hop on a plane, Ed, and fly on out there.
Yeah, I'll just wait for it to show up on
on YouTube
news feeds.
All right. So let's see. Vanna White says she's still friends with Pat Sajak. In case you were wondering.
Yeah.
You know, Pat left the show, so.
Yeah, I know. I like them together.
Okay. She said they're still friends, and Sajak is still in her life, so they still get together. And,
I think they're neighbors.
Are they?
I remember them talking about that.
Yeah?
That they live nearby.
Okay.
Yeah.
They have several homes.
Yeah.
He
Well,
does?
I'm sure they do.
Both
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Him and Vanna are set to, they will reunite on the Celebrity Wheel of Fortune, which is going to air later this year. So he's popping back for a little while. So isn't that nice? in case you're wondering. And is it Ryan Seacrest that hosts it now?
Seacrest.
Ryan
So
Seacrest,
okay, because he's got nothing better to do.
Yeah.
He's just a busy man.
Yeah, he sure is.
All right, let's see. A bear.
What kind of beer?
That's a great question.
Black,
What
brown,
kind of not polar happened in Tahoe, California. So I'm going to go with black bear.
Okay.
On this one. But a bear broke in and stole ice cream from a store in Tahoe. I wonder how he knew it was ice cream. In a social media post, Beth Moxley, owner of Tahoe Time Ice Cream and Coffee Shop, says she and her crew took a lunch break. And when they returned, they found a trash can knocked over and noticed an ice cream freezer was open with a 3-gallon tub of chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream missing. They discovered the empty tub outside and spotted the bear trying to get back inside. He wanted more. This stuff's delicious. You just can't find this stuff out in the wild. And I know it's in here. I know it's in this building. I'm coming back, and I'm telling my friends.
Yeah, right.
This is where the ice cream is. Have you had this stuff? That was I always loved doing that when my kids were very young. First time giving them like soft serve ice cream because they had never had it before, and just they'd be what, 10 months, 11 months old, maybe a year. Yeah. And of course they could feel it coming towards them. The cold is coming off the ice cream, and they're a little hesitant. But you touch it to their lips, and they'd look at it and go, and their eyes get real wide, and then their mouth would open. And they're following it around. And I'm like, yeah, I'm more of that. Where's this been for the last 12 months?
Right. Yeah. Why are you keeping it away from me?
That's right. This stuff's great. So that was fun. In case you're if you follow this person, I don't, but hey, you never know. Kim Kardashian, she's got to testify. She's preparing to testify in person in a Paris courtroom as she faces the men accused of robbing her at gunpoint in 2016. I think they stole her purse.
Really?
If I remember that correctly. So the trial begins today. She's over there and taking care of this. The violent robbery happened during Paris Fashion Week when 5 men dressed as police officers broke into the reality TV star and entrepreneur's apartment. She has an apartment in Paris. Okay. She was bound and held at gunpoint while they stole nearly $7 million worth of jewelry. So this is more than just the handbag kind of thing. Okay, one of the suspects has written a book about how the robbery was planned. If convicted, they face years. Doesn't say how many years. They face years behind bars. Oh. So if you're one of the suspects and you've written a book about how you did it, why are you on trial?
You did it.
You have just admitted I'm guilty.
Yeah.
Maybe it's one and the others out of the 7.
Maybe that's to pay for his legal expenses. He writes the book.
I'm going to pay for your legal expenses for the others. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, if you're going to write a book about how you did it.
I think I remember hearing about that. What did you say, 2016?
2016.
I think I remember
quite a while ago.
That. Yeah.
So, all right. So, but she's there to testify. And speaking of testifying.
Talking about waiting long time for a court date.
Only in America do they say we have fast and speedy trials. Maybe it doesn't say that in Paris.
Wow.
We'll get around to it when we get around to it.
I guess.
And the Karen Reed trial continues.
Yeah, I was going to say, ask her about this fast and speedy trial.
Speaking of testifying, that's coming up today. Something big is supposed to happen today. Taking a key witness. A key witness is expected to testify today at the trial of Karen Reed. Jennifer McCabe was in the house when Boston police officer John O'Keefe was found dead outside on the lawn. Back in 2022, the defense claims McCabe conducted an online search about how long it takes to die in the cold, hours before O'Keefe's body was found in the snowstorm. The defense says if that search was conducted, it shows McCabe was aware that Reed did not strike her boyfriend O'Keefe with the SUV and that someone else killed him.
There's something else that's supposed to come out today too.
What's
by,
that?
Some expert with the phone is able to analyze information from the phone. And they said that O'Keefe's phone never made it into the house.
After she dropped him off?
Right.
Well, it could have dropped out of a pocket, I guess. Not really likely, but how do they know? How do they know it didn't make it into the house?
Location.
The GPS on the phone?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I don't think it's that accurate.
No. Yeah.
I mean, it gives you an idea of where, but I don't think it's like,
in the house or outside.
In the house or 5 feet out into the
lawn.
yard. You
yeah.
know?
Wow. Okay, and I hadn't heard that. I just remember, the first day, I just remember the EMT saying, "Oh yeah, I heard her say, I hit him." Does that mean she hit him with the car, or I smacked him in the face, back at the bar? I don't know. Fascinating, though, huh?
Yep.
All right, so we're going to wrap it up for today. Thank you very much for listening in, everyone. It's always appreciated. Ed Carew, thanks for coming in today.
Always a pleasure.
And make sure you lock up your ice cream so the bears don't get it, okay?
Oh, I share.
You know, that Yogi Bear, you know.
I don't have any bears that I've seen. We got a lot of deer.
Deer. Well, maybe they may like it.
I'm sure they do.
All right. Linda Tebow, thanks for coming in today.
My pleasure.
All right, this is Joe Callahan. Have yourself a fantastic day. And stay tuned for Gary Smith and the crew. Do you remember is coming your way right after the 9 o'clock news here on ON, AM, and FM.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news.